Okay. Hello, everyone. This is our weekly Subspace desktop meeting. And again, we will be showing you what are the new changes, what's happened, and which bugs are fixed. Let me share my screen. I think I'm ready to go. All right, you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
So let's start with the closed issues first. So for the last 7 days, I'm not sure we covered this one because it's 7 days before, but basically we extracted the information that we are storing for the users to an external configuration file. That was a big deal for many things actually. And let's see that. Okay, so this was fixed. This is some bug related to reward address, and because of that, logic farmer was not able to start. We fixed that immediately, and the new version is released, but still under the tests. So we still recommend our users to use version 0.3.3 for Subspace desktop. Other than that, we had an issue about course. So we just needed to add something to the code and this was fixed. So it was related to Windows only. Okay, here is the new stuff. Maybe these three were covered in last week. That's why I skipped them in a fast fashion. So here is an interesting bug. So when you have the application opened and when the dialog opened for you to reveal the reward address, and before you click on I confirm I stored the mnemonic in a safe place, you could close the application or the application could crash for some reason, and we would still store the reward address as if user had stored the mnemonic, which should not be the case. So we fixed that. So now until we skip to the plotting phase, we are not actually storing the reward address. So when you close the application or if it's crashing and you reopen the app, it will generate a new reward address and new mnemonic for you. Okay, this was a very funny one. So turns out the Polkadot.js extension, the wallet, is using this type of keys, which is for single identity, and this is for multi-sig actually. The incompatibility is the Polkadot API, the thing we are using for our front end, is defaulting to this, but the wallet is defaulting to this. And that's why when our users import the mnemonic to the wallet, they would see a different reward address. But it doesn't mean that their funds are lost. They still can access their funds and they can view what blocks have been farmed and which transactions have been confirmed from the blockchain explorer. So this is not a big deal, and we have a solution for that. We fixed the code for that, and this issue is not present in the stable version, which is 0.3.3. So for the users that have been using the pre-release versions, which are not the stable versions, and if they choose to generate the mnemonic and reward address in the Subspace desktop application, everything is good, but they should stay tuned for an upcoming announcement. So this one is fixed again very quickly after the bug is discovered. And this was discovered today. And thanks to our new logging system, I will explain it. We were able to solve this one in like under 10 minutes. The issue is we were not updating plotting started flag if you had a reward address already defined when you start the application. So two things could be the reason. One, you imported the reward address to the desktop application. Or the second one, you had a reward address defined coming from the previous versions. In those two cases, um, we forgot to update the plotting started flag for this case. So when you reopen the application, it would start plotting from scratch again. Again, this is fixed very quickly. So these are the new issues that we faced and fixed. Any questions about these closed issues, guys? I think no.
No.
Okay, let's proceed into the new issues. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. So when you restart the application, the node is also restarting and the node name is changing. This is not a big deal and this is not a bug, but if the node name persists, it would be easier for our users, so it would improve the user experience. But again, this is not causing any bug. It's just that we need an identifier for the node, and this identifier is generated randomly, and we choose to generate it every time the node starts. We will make it such that the user may provide a name, or if they do not want to provide a name for their node, the node name will be generated for the first time, and then we will store it, and then we will use it for the next times. So this is the new issue. When we have the time for that, because we have more priority things to improve right now, but this should be a small one. So for the next week, I believe this should be fixed. Selecting new drive does not recalculate storage capacity. So when you are on the default drive, it's fine, but when you change it, it stays the same. It doesn't recalculate the available storage. I don't think we are supporting external drives or other drives other than C. So this is not tested and this is not intended to work at the moment. So our version is supporting only this one. Of course, in the future, we are planning to support other drives as well. So I will not close this issue. It will be open, but probably for the next week or so, we won't see any development on that one. And unable to fetch peers, Serge discovered this issue just like 4 hours before the meeting. And we were trying to debug this with him, but couldn't exactly find the issue. So the thing is, we were running a method called peers, which was working, and for somehow it doesn't work anymore. It says the method is not found, and this is not our method. This is Polkadot API's method. So we will inspect that. We also hadn't upgraded our Polkadot API version, so it's the same. So it's really weird that something working before is not working anymore because the dependencies are not updated on the Polkadot side. Again, we will inspect that and hopefully solve it within a couple of days at the worst case. Any questions about the open issues? Okay. Then let's proceed into the new PRs for this week. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one is introducing two things. One of them is upgrading all the Tauri related dependencies, which our end users will not care. So it's for developers. And the second thing is we had an icon in here, which is not very clear what is this representing. Although we know what is representing, it's not clear for our users. And also for some case, when the node name is too long, this icon is becoming like overflowing into the second line and making this UI ugly. So that's why I chose to remove this, so that even though node name is big, it will fit into this one line design that we intended. Other than that, there is not much going on in this PR, so we can skip into logging and small fixes. This is a big one, especially for our users who are willing to submit reports, and also for developers. So now the log, like the console log and the standard output, is reflected, relayed into an external file, a log file, so that when you, for example, think there is a bug, instead of explaining what the bug is and instead of us trying to reproduce the error every time and asking you many questions to reproduce it in a correct fashion, you can just summarize the error and submit your log file, and everything will work much faster and much less effortlessly on both the bug submitter side and both on the developer side. And that's why it's a big deal. Let's see the small things. Yeah, not much. Okay. Serge, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, you want to share? Okay. So, yeah, finally started working on Subspace desktop, and I already merged my first pull request, which is the one you can see on the screen. A very minor update. We changed like some wording, added emoji, and that's all. Same buttons, same functionality under the hood. Uh, and uh, yeah, I started working on the issue number 182. Can you please open? So,
Yeah,
or
sure. But if it's some other topic, after we finish all the PRs, we can jump into project board. Or if it's related to that, I can open it right now.
no, it's not related. So
Okay.
this is the only PR I had so far. So another one is in progress.
Okay. Let's elaborate on that a little bit more. Like before, we had quick start and advanced. It was not very intuitive for our users to select which one, and it was more of an experimental progress of, okay, what does this advanced button do, kind of thing. That's why the wording change is good, will be good for our users. At least that's what we think. The next PR is, um, yeah, it fixes some of the issues that we discussed in the closed issues, and also improves the logging system. And that's all. So we can jump to the project board if you don't have any questions. Okay. So issue number 182. Sorry.
Yes, receive peers and block information from node. Yeah, so currently we have two connections, like farmer application connects to local node and to public RPC endpoint. Um, and we want to like optimize it and just use one connection and get everything we want from the local node. So I did some research on what can be removed. So currently we're using remote RPC endpoint to fetch the latest block on the blockchain. So we know when we sync the current node, so we know how many nodes to go, right? And this query can be replaced with the one I provided, system sync state. So this endpoint actually returns both values, like what is the current block number, and how many blocks to go to fully sync. And another endpoint is the count of segments, which we show when we have initial plotting screen. We have this loading bar, and we show the number of segments, like total number, and the number of segments like we already uh, processed. Yeah, so as I mentioned in this comment, I don't think it's very like useful for the users, because most of them don't even know about segments, and just simply showing like how many blocks we are going to sync is just more intuitive to anyone who has ever had any node running and syncing. Uh, so yeah, unless there is another like something I don't know, because I'm just jumping on this project.
Yeah, I agree. Like we should again probably talk with Nazar and Jeremiah about this too. But I agree. Like segment is a more like subspace terminology for outsiders.
Yes.
So block will be more intuitive. I agree.
What do you think, Justin?
No, I definitely agree as well. It would be just a little bit more clear, especially as we move down the line.
Okay. Yeah, and while I was working on this one, I discovered the issue, like which Otkan mentioned, with this peers method, which wasn't working. And yeah, we need to investigate more on that and to definitely upgrade our Polkadot.js API. And yeah, that's my update, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Serge. So let's jump into the project board. So this one is finished. Actually, the tests are continuing for this one, and fortunately, okay, let me more clearly explain the situation. This multi-replica is in the main branch, and the versions you are seeing, like 0.4.x versions, are from a different branch. But fortunately, the bugs for zero point 0.4 related to 0.4x versions has stopped and finished in 0.4.7. So we are not actually debugging 0.4.7. We are not debugging a different program, but the new bugs coming related to, like we are discovering, are related to both of these branches. So 0.4.8 and 0.4.9 are fixing the bugs that are also present in the multi-replica branch, in the main branch. So when we fix the bug, we are fixing them in the both branches right now. Um, so that's what I wanted to mention. Um, so Jeremiah will take care of that. Let's skip that. And I believe, Serge, have you had any chance to talk with Leo recently?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, let's skip those as well. So good thing is we finished all the high priority ones, so we can move on to the medium ones. Um, I have lots of things in here. Probably remove the blockchain size requirement and persist node name across restarts will be the things that I will work on. Show button is not displaying properly is, I believe, not something related to us, but Tauri, so we can inspect it more or just try to fix other issues because this is not a big priority. Actually, I believe this is low priority. So after we fix all the medium ones, and probably Tauri will release another version at that time, so we can upgrade Tauri. And if this issue still persists, then we can take a look at that, in my opinion. And Serge will be working on this public API and local API, I think he mentioned. Probably we will work on that together as well, like restructuring everything. Other than that, everything is low priority. So okay, that makes that medium. Serge, what do you think? Or
Yeah,
maybe
I
high?
think medium.
Yeah, okay, peers is not affecting the whole workflow. It's just, yeah, okay, medium makes sense. Other than that, and let's make this show button low. Do you guys agree about that? Serge, do you know about this issue? It's Sapanima. Okay, let me open it. It's very
No.
funny. So in Windows, when you
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's low.
it's weird. Okay, I think that's all. So we don't have any new functionality. We just have bug fixes. That's why we hadn't prepared a demo for this week. Hopefully next week, the testings for multi-replica will be finished soon, so that we can demo that one. But we already gave a demo about multi-replica. We will just be giving the demo of the finished product. So that's all. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys next week. Bye. And let's stop the recording.